Hello, welcome back to the channel. Firstly, thank you for everyone who subscribed to the channel since I sort of like did a soft relaunch really to focus on some magazine games, well, magazine chat about games, obviously. So it's been great to obviously get a few comments as well, and thank you for anyone who's shared tweets and Facebook posts, things like that. Because again, it's not the main thing for me. This obviously main thing is the Addict magazine work and writing, which takes up a lot of time. But like I said, I want to try and do a couple of videos every month, you know, possibly free when time allows, to obviously share any magazine pickups or a bit of insight into particular issues. And that brings us to this today. Have managed to get a few more ST Action magazines thanks to Mark Jowett from Sega Mags. Obviously deals in other magazines as well. With ST Action, despite writing for an Amiga mag, it's always going to have a soft spot for me because that was the first magazine I actually bought with my own money. So I've got like a lot of good memories from it. Done by Europress, and I think when it comes down to it, it sort of like was one of a few games only magazines, so it lasted 68 issues right to the end of 1993 before it did what quite a lot of magazines did back then and got absorbed into, you know, other magazines. I think it was ST Review that it went into off the top of my head, another Europress title anyway. And obviously back in the day when it started, you know, back in the late 80s, it was a really good read. You know, like packed, you know, 100 odd pages. By the time it got towards the end, you were down to, you know, 60 odd pages. Luckily, it never went much less than that. Because it did get to the stage with some magazines, you know, would be 30 odd pages, if that, and really, really limping on, really. But there's one issue that I want to just try and find, if I can, just to go through and discuss. Where is it? I think it's this one here. So a little bit of prep was needed. Aha. So I'm going to look at this one. So this is just over 30 years ago. So we've got Lotus 3 on the cover. The Lotus games, absolutely fantastic. To tie it into what I do as a job with Amiga Addict, we've recently had Magnetic Fields on the cover, speaking to the guys behind the Lotus series. So Lotus 3, don't think I ever played the ST version, still just about had my ST at this point. And I carried on buying the magazine even when I got rid of my ST. I think it's because sort of like, it's going to sound weird, like owed it in a way, because even though the games were drying up and by that point I was moving on to the Super Nintendo, I still wanted to support, you know, the machine. But anyway, with this one, we have got the demo of Lotus 3 on the cover, and we've also got a preview of Street Fighter 2, which turned out absolutely terrible on the ST. I know the Amiga version wasn't any better, but they actually sorted that when they did release the Super Street Fighter 2. So, like I say, issue 56, so it's got a year to go, you know, and this is 76 pages, so not thick by any, means at all. But then, just looking at the contents, we still tried to fit quite a lot in it. We've got a feature up here looking at Bad Influence, which was just starting to launch around this time on ITV. As a kid, I absolutely loved it. So the main feature there, Bad News Dominic, aimed at Dominic Diamond. Games Master around this time, probably on its second series, or just about to, you know, kick off with a second series. So again, just to go through highlights really here. So we've got obviously the cover disc page, looking at Lotus 3 being the big playable demo, which was always good because I loved obviously the demo discs. I've said so many times, you know, even though we'll say games were quite easy to get hold of for the Amiga and ST, They still felt something special about, playing a demo, knowing that a new big release was on its way. And it also has a demo of a game called Guy Fawkes. Okay, so this was designed especially for ST Action, and it's by someone called the Code Monkeys. But yeah, it's something that I don't recall playing. And then again, just a couple of pages. So again, we're not going to struggle to fill space if you're giving a cover disc 3 pages, really. Then we've obviously got a bit of news. Things are drying up a little bit. We've got a Dizzy game coming out. So this is, what is it? Crystal Kingdom Dizzy. So again, not everyone's cup of tea. The Dizzy games were, something I enjoyed playing, quite a bit as a kid. Now I think they quite badly put together, but it's just all that sort of like, pick up this to then go back and to the other side of the game to go and use it here and things like that. I mean, I suppose that's what you got in a bit of a point and click adventure type thing, but there's just times where you're just almost tearing your hair out, And then we've also got, because again, big titles are getting quite scarce, we've got Civilization as well coming out, I think it looks like. Already a huge hit for PC, Microprose decided to reissue the award-winning Civilization onto the ST. So again, always got good review Civilization. Not a game I've ever played, and it's the type of genre that I used to absolutely love. I don't know, just never actually got stuck into that one. So it's a weird time looking back at this because, like I say, it's just as the ST's coming out of its last commercial year, really, in 1992. It's the 16-bit computer that's getting games released after everything else. So it's a big deal, like when the likes of Zool, finally come out for it. For games from like Sensible Software and stuff, it was always the ST version last. So moving on, otherwise I'll just get depressed. Lotus 3 is the big review here. So a few pages. I do like the layout of ST Action. That's something they've always done well, even since like the magazine launched again under Hugh Gollner and his Gollner Publishing before it went to Europress. Trying not to be too boring with publishing history. It's sort of like Hugh's magazine design back then was obviously quite sought after. I did an interview with Nick Clarkson, who now works at Team 17, and that was for Maximum Power Up. And he was saying, like, the likes of EMAP and Future, they really wanted, Hugh's ideas and things like that. And, like how, like what he brought to obviously magazine publishing, they were like quite advanced for the time. He was only young himself and he surrounded himself with a young team. So I think some of those ideas will have come to Europress's mags. So 93% anyway, as I babble on. We have got an advert there for Super Fighter compilation. Final Fight on ST, not fantastic. One that I did get an actual bought game. WrestleMania, awful. And Pit Fighter, I can't remember much about the home computer versions, but the arcade one I absolutely used to love. Hispania the game, so Olympics 1992, not something that I would touch myself. 37%, so going off that review, not missing much at all. So what else have we got? A Mega Sports compilation. Here we go. So what have we got here? Summer Games 1 and 2 in there, California Games, The Games, Summer Edition and Winter Games, all done by US Gold, 84%, 30 quid. Fantastic if you're into sort of thing. As just said, I really wasn't. Again, staple of all magazines back then, Special Reserve. Even though the ST is starting to fade away, it's still got 2 pages of stuff there, games, joysticks, printers and everything like that. So, they still supported it. What else? A couple of games here, Paladin 2 and Caesar, some more RTS type games. And then another compilation, I think that's just it really, it gives them something to review. A few fantasy games there. Dragon's Breath, Crystals of Arborea, and Stormmaster. Never played any of those at all. And then we've got the main feature, which is looking at Bad Influence. So they've gone along to the TV studio to go and get a few words with Andy Crane and Violet Berlin. Here we have the interview. Might actually put some pictures out of this, tweet out actual pictures of the interview, because you've got a dummy cover here for Bad Influence magazine. It didn't look like that, issue 1. In fact, there's only ever 2 issues. Could be because Europress got bought out by IDG in 1994, I think it was. That doesn't really fit in. Sorry, I'm thinking of myself here. But yeah, anyway, only 2 issues of that magazine. I think there's an advert in a minute. Oh, there we go. It's like a poster. So Bad Influence, look how street it looks with graffiti. And again, just zoom in there, another cover for Bad Influence, one that didn't actually make it out. It's a bit of a strange one. We usually get like 1 dummy cover, but to have 2, not the type of thing you see very often. Thing that I absolutely loved in magazines, because it was awful at games and still am, the tips pages, and we've got a picture of Chucky here, the Notorious Killer Doll. So let's have a look, and then we're on to players' guides again. Quite handy, this is pre-internet. Some games obviously you really do get stuck, and a lot of the time it is adventure games. Like I still remember, I've said before, with Broken Sword, getting stuck on the goat puzzle for absolutely ages. We've also got a guide for Plan 9 from Outer Space. I've actually put this on the Amiga Mini because it's something that I've never actually played. Yeah, I don't know why. I did try to play it for about half an hour, but it's a full guide anyway, 4 pages. So maybe it's something that you can load up and just cheat in a way and just follow the walkthrough, get through it, and don't know, feel like you've done something that day. So we also have budget reviews, something where there's quite a lot of 16-bit budget gaming, usually around £8 a game, so not too bad. I remember like when I was a kid, our local market, they still had like tons of 8-bit games. Around that time you just go there with pocket money or paper on money, pick up a couple of games, for Specky or Amstrad or C64. Takes a couple of weeks to, say get an ST or an Amiga one, but there's, if you were patient, you could get a few decent, titles. So here you've got, again, a couple of Dizzy games, Bubble Dizzy and Prince of Yokefolk. So again, not the type of thing that I'd rush out and buy. But Switchblade 2 wasn't bad at all, 79%. So well worth picking up. It's still not too bad a game now. I'm pretty sure that this is on Antstream at the moment as well. But there's another better game here. Another better game, that's bad English, sorry. Supercars 2, 90%. So Supercars 2, fantastic music, and just again fun to play. That is something I've been playing fairly recently as well, and still enjoy playing it. Bit fiddly in places, but yeah, not too bad. And then what else have we got? With another mainstay of magazines, Silica, there, and they're advertising the ST 520 Discovery Extra Bundle, which obviously comes with the ST, comes with Sim City, 9 Lives, Escape from Planet Robot Monsters, Final Fight, load of productivity software as well. Comes with, again, anyone who bought a computer on this time, just zoom in, these 10-star packs of budget games. Some of them better than others. I remember one mate getting his ST, came with things like, I think Marble Madness was in one of them, which isn't that bad a game. And then Thundercats as well was in one. So again, can be a bit hit and miss. It just makes me laugh when we go free from Silica with nearly £325. It sounds impressive, but it depends if you're actually going to use that stuff, because again, you're not going to be able to really trade them in for anything. I suppose the man in the market may have given you something for it, but yeah, Anyway, and then what else have we got? We have got a competition to win. I'll just find out in a sec. What do you actually win? Is it a radio? Scanning is becoming even more popular every day. Okay, so this is to win radio, is it? Or a scanner? Yeah, by the company Realistic. So yeah, okay. So it's to win a scanner, a radio scanner, not a computer scanner for your computer. Anyway, big preview here on Street Fighter 2. It was a big deal when this came out because Street Fighter 2, absolutely massive in the arcades. Anyone roughly my age will remember how popular it was. Everyone loved the SNES version. However, the home computer versions were nowhere near as good. So this is saying it's out around now. So it probably got reviewed a month or so after, and then you've also got Cool World as well, based on the Kim Basinger and Brad Pitt film. Again, I don't remember that getting good reviews. Something called Big Nose for Caveman by Codemasters. Do not recall that at all. Demon's Gate, I might be pronouncing it totally wrong. Again, another fantasy game, not one that I played. I think this is, as I said, my ST games playing was starting to wind down. And I've just been looking on a piece earlier from Simon Butler, who mentioned Universal Monsters, a game that didn't come to pass. So yeah, it's a shame. I know this gets mentioned quite a bit. You do wonder what could have been. But yeah, so graphics Simon Butler there mentioned in name alongside Martin McDonald and sound Barry Leach. But yeah, that never came out. And then we've got letters, more letters, and then a buyer's guide at the back. And yeah, that's more or less your lot. So, ST Action. Yeah, it does get a more depressing read, sadly, as we get to 1993. But again, compared to obviously ST format, it couldn't fill it with the more technical content. It did try to keep the flag going as a games magazine. I mean, just quickly touch on it one sec. It only had about 4 issues of this, which was basically ST Action incorporating the one for ST. Which was done by EMAP. I think it was only about 3 or 4 issues, because out of the ST Actions that I've got here with me, it seems to go from this issue 50. Issue 51, it wasn't mentioned in the one at all, but they have got a few little design things. So just to quickly, these work in progress bits, they did use some of the style on a bit of a soft relaunch, really. Well, new look, I should say, really, rather than a relaunch. So yeah, so the one for ST, that didn't really do anything at all as a standalone magazine. When the one did split into the One Amiga, which lasted for quite some time, all the way up to summer '95 before Maverick released their version. And then yeah, the One ST, which I think only did about 3 or 4 standalone ones, and then had a few issues alongside ST Action, which summer '92 had ended as well. So yeah, bit of a short run there for the One ST. I suppose you didn't really need 2 ST games only mags. Anyway, right, that's all for me. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be back as soon as I can with another video, and yeah, thank you. And again, if you do subscribe, thank you so much, and thank you for your time watching. And I better get back to doing some magazine work later. Thanks a lot. Bye.